Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-diving into a question that sounds simple, but opens up a world of mystery. What was life like before we had names? It's hard to imagine, right? Our names are so tied to who we are. But for a huge chunk of human history, people didn't have them. So how did they live? How did they talk to each other? Let's travel back in time to the very beginning of humanity and find out. Picture this, small, tight-knit groups of early humans, maybe 20 to 30 people, roaming the vast wild landscapes of prehistoric Earth. Their world was all about survival. Finding food, avoiding predators, and caring for each other were the only things that mattered. In a community this small, everyone knew everyone else intimately. You knew them by their face, their walk, the sound of their grunt, or the way they threw a spear. You didn't need a name like Bob or Jane to know who was. Who? So how did they communicate? Think less about words and more about a rich tapestry of nonverbal cues. Gestures, body language, facial expressions, and a range of vocal sounds would have been their primary tools. A specific grunt might mean danger, while pointing at a berry bush and smiling could mean this is good to eat. They might identify someone by describing them. The one with the long hair, the fast runner, or the one who's good at making tools. These weren't names, but descriptive labels that worked perfectly in their small social circles. These descriptions were dynamic, changing as people change. The young boy who was the one who was always tripping might grow up to become the strong hunter. Their identity was tied to their actions, their skills, and their role within the group. Not a fixed, abstract label. It was a very present, in-the-moment way of existing. You were what you did, and everyone in your group knew it. This system was incredibly efficient. Why invent abstract names when a simple gesture or a descriptive phrase did the job perfectly? The big shift happened as human societies grew larger and more complex. With the rise of agriculture, people began to settle down. Villages grew into towns, and suddenly you were interacting with hundreds, even thousands of people. You couldn't possibly know everyone by sight or by their specific skills. The one with the long hair was no longer a useful description when half the village had long hair. This is where the need for unique personal names really exploded. Names became essential for trade, for ownership, for lineage, and for social order. You needed to know who owned which plot of land, who was whose child, and who you made a promise to. Names became a way to track relationships and responsibilities in a world that was becoming too big for simple descriptions. The invention of names was a huge cognitive leap for humanity, marking a transition from small, intimate bands to large, organized societies. It was a software update for the human brain, allowing us to manage a much more complex social network. So the next time you hear your name called, take a second to appreciate it. It's not just a word. It's a legacy of our social evolution. It's a powerful tool that connects us to a vast web of people, places, and history. From a nameless beginning in small, roaming groups to the globally connected world we live in today, our names tell the story of humanity's incredible journey. What do you think your descriptive name would have been in a prehistoric tribe? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you in the next one.